Austria, Bermuda, Brazil, Hungary, Switzerland, Germany, Ethiopia, England, the Gambia, Hong Kong, Holland, Ireland, Japan, Mexico, Malaysia, the Netherlands, New Zealand, the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now about 90 seconds away from the start. We do wish you all the very best. Please have a good time out there.
Welcome to one of the world's most beautiful cities, Vancouver, Canada. It has mountains, oceans, parks, and beaches. And once a year, on the first Sunday in May, it hosts the Adidas Vancouver International Marathon.
The record number, as we said, nearly 4,000 athletes.
For over 30 years, the marathon has run through the streets of Vancouver, changing its configuration several times. Originally, the marathon consisted of 5 loops of Stanley Park. In 1984, the start-finish area moved to its current location at the Plaza of Nations. For a number of years, the course traveled over the Lionsgate Bridge and into North Vancouver. But now the marathon takes place entirely within the boundaries of the city of Vancouver, which makes it a much faster course. Hi, I'm Kerry Nelson, and for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to be your guide to the Adidas Vancouver International Marathon. In 1996, I was a member of the Canadian national team and ran the Olympic Marathon in Atlanta. Together with the help of Marathon Video, I'm going to take you on a visual tour of the Vancouver course from start to finish. I'll give you some idea of just what's in store for you as you make your way through the streets of Vancouver.
You gonna run with me?
We'll talk to a number of runners as they make their way around the 42-kilometer circuit. And finally, I'll try to offer some personal insight into how best to approach this marathon. But first, I'd like to introduce our race director, Colin Atkinson.
Hi, I'm Colin Atkinson, and on behalf of the Adidas Vancouver International Marathon, I'd like to welcome you to our video course tour and invite you to participate in our upcoming marathon.
Back to the back,
Running a marathon is one of the most demanding physical challenges any of us will ever face. It's something that you must be physically and mentally prepared to do. Before participating in this event, you should have spent a number of months in training. That means running at least 50 kilometers a week, which is about 30 miles. You should have joined a running club that would help you get through your training program. You should also have good running equipment. It helps to have participated in shorter runs, such as 5Ks, 10Ks, and a half marathon. Most importantly, you should have some reasonable idea of what you are capable of running, and you should have developed some overall plan of how you're going to run your race. Vancouver is a great city with lots to see and do. If you're flying here, you'll arrive at the Vancouver International Airport, which is only minutes from downtown. In the downtown area, there are many hotels to choose from, which are either within walking distance or a short shuttle ride to the start-finish area and the center of activities. See our website for links to the hotels that are sponsors of the race.
Hey, coach! The coach! Coach! Blame the coach!
In the 3 days before the marathon, there'll be our Basel Heart, Health and Wellness Expo. This is where you can pick up your race package containing your bib number and your timing chip. You'll also be able to see many booths and displays from groups dedicated to improving your overall health and fitness performance. There's speakers, seminars, and on Saturday night before the race, a pasta party. And speaking of dinner, the night before our pasta party, the marathon has a 3-hour dinner cruise in the Vancouver Harbour, which you are more than welcome to sign up for. So it's Sunday morning. We're at the Plaza of Nations. It's here where your race will ultimately start and finish. The race begins on the road between the Plaza of Nations and BC Place Stadium. Try to be there at least an hour before the event. You don't want to be late for the start. You can check it, stretch, and get ready. The weather in the last few years has been beautiful, but it can rain. so come prepared. The temperature is usually moderate, but in the past we've had a range from cool to hot. The best way to have a good race is to be prepared for a number of scenarios. Bring proper clothing and train in varying conditions before the race. This will ensure you're ready for any surprises.
3, 2, 1. Good luck to wheelchairs.
The wheelchair half marathon race is the first to go.
Best to you out there. We look forward to seeing you coming back.
5 minutes later, the half marathon starts. If you're running a marathon, don't make the mistake of leaving with these runners. Your race starts 15 minutes after theirs. The marathon course takes part of its shape by following the natural shoreline of the city. Beginning at the Plaza of Nations, the marathon does an initial loop around a small inlet known as False Creek, traveling north over the Burrard Street Bridge and then returning to the Plaza of Nations. Passing once again by the start line, it heads out into the east end of the city. Then it turns back, passes through the downtown core, and travels around Stanley Park before making its way once again to the Burrard Street Bridge. This time it travels south over the bridge into Kitsilano, where it makes an out and back to Jericho Park. Then it loops under the bridge and crosses it for a third time. Finally, in the last 2 kilometers, it follows Pacific Boulevard to the finish at the Plaza of Nations. There are 5 landmarks to look for on race day that will help guide you through the city. There is Science World, which is at the 1 kilometer mark. There is the Burrard Street Bridge, which you pass over 3 times at various stages in the race. BC Place Stadium is situated at the start-finish area and at the 8 kilometer point. The Harbour Centre Tower can be seen from far away and is at the 5 kilometer mark. And finally you'll pass by the Lionsgate Bridge just after the halfway mark in the marathon. That's where you'll be at the highest elevation on the course.
So let's everyone get moving. Here we go. We're going to shake our bodies this morning. Ready to shake with us. Are you ready?
Finally, after all your training, we have the start.
How do you, sir? Looking forward to the race? Yes. From Germany.
Remember, these athletes in the marathon should be with the green.
Where are you from?
Guadalajara, Mexico.
Be 45
I'm from Germany, Frankfurt, Germany.
I'd like to introduce you to the Adidas
Hi.
three-stripe
Where you
team.
from?
We have
Come Whitlam.
Krista. Here we go.
Japan?
We're going to shake our bodies this morning. Are you ready to shake with us?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Where you from, sir?
Can I see you clap your hands? Can you put your hands together?
Italiano Island.
Let's reach up.
Gonna rock and roll today. Gonna kick some ass, man.
3, 2, 1. Here we go. Marathon is now fully underway. The record numbers we set, nearly 4,000 athletes.
At the start of the race, always a large crowd. Don't start out too fast. Remember, you have another 42 kilometers to go. Stick to your race plan and choose a pace that you've been training for. Heading out area at the Plaza of Nations, you'll travel east along Pacific Avenue. Passing underneath the SkyTrain overpass, which is part of the city's rapid transit system, you'll then turn right onto Quebec Street. Traveling south, you'll spot our first landmark, the golf ball-like structure of Science World, which was built for the 1986 World's. Circling around the east end of False Creek, you'll continue along Quebec Street until you reach 2nd Avenue. Here you'll turn to the right and west. The first part of this marathon route takes place entirely on landfill areas surrounding False Creek. It's very flat and shouldn't offer you any surprises. 2nd Avenue makes a slight bend to the left as it turns towards the Canby Street Bridge overpass, which you'll run under. At this point, you should be concentrating on your pace and conserving your energy.
Where you from? I'm from Norway.
Norway, what brings you over here?
Oh, I live in Seattle.
Little run in the sun?
Yep, it's great.
How about a cheer?
The course continues smooth and flat as 2nd Avenue sweeps right to become 6th. At this point in the marathon, it's important to make sure that you focus on maintaining a running pace that you're going to feel comfortable with for the next 40 kilometers. Remember, if you go out too fast for your ability at the start, you're going to pay for it in the last part of the run. Continuing west, the course begins to rise, cresting underneath the south concrete on-ramps to the Granville Street Bridge. As the road tilts downhill, sweeping first to the right, then 6th Avenue flattens out to become 4th. Traveling west for a couple more blocks, you'll make a right turn off of 4th onto Pine Street and begin a descent to 1st Avenue. Here you'll pass our first aid station and the 5-kilometer mark of the race. Turning left onto 1st, you'll soon reach Burrard Street. Here you'll turn right and north as you pass by the Seaforth Armories. Begin an uphill run, making our first crossing over our second landmark, the 70-year-old Burrard. Descending the north side, you'll make a right turn onto Pacific Avenue. From here, you'll run along a gentle slope as you complete the loop around False Creek and back to the Plaza of Nations. You'll pass underneath the concrete on-ramps to the north side of the Granville Street Bridge, where you'll find our second aid station. Whatever your ability, it's important to stay hydrated. So remember, these opportunities to drink your share of fluids. As Pacific sweeps left, you'll pass along the edge of the Town District. You'll then run under the new high towers which have sprung up on the old Expo lands. And if you look closely as you pass the roundhouse, you might catch a glimpse of the first locomotive to make it over the Rocky Mountains, train engine 374. Passing underneath the on-ramps to the Canby Street Bridge, you'll spot our third landmark, EC Plate Stadium, notable for its white inflated dome. The stadium is situated right across the street from the Plaza of Nations and the marathon's start-finish area. Running to the left of the start-finish line, you might get to see the winners of the 5K and half marathon races as they complete their events. East from the Plaza of Nations, you'll once again spot the Science World golf ball. However, this time, upon reaching Quebec Street, instead of turning right and south towards the landmark, you'll turn left and north into Chinatown. Passing underneath an elevated at the intersection of Quebec and Pender Street, you'll turn to the left. Traveling west, you'll spot a tall structure with a green dome. That's the Sun Life Building. Built in 1912, it was once the tallest building in the British Empire. When you get to it, you'll turn left onto Beatty Street and run up a short grade until you reach Dunsmuir Street and GM Place Stadium, home of the NHL's Canucks. Turn left again onto the viaduct and you'll have reached the marathon's 10-kilometer mark.
Hey man, how you doing?
Great.
How do you feel?
Fine. I just paced myself around 5 minutes per kilometer. Yeah, it's a sunny day, perfect temperature, and a beautiful day for a marathon in Vancouver.
You'll now be traveling east on the viaduct directly into the morning sun, so sunglasses would be an asset. The viaduct eventually dips down as it turns into Prior Street. You run over a small rolling hill as you make your way through one of the city's oldest neighborhoods, Strathcona. This is another area to establish your rhythm and establish your pace. Turning left onto Raymore, you'll make a quick dogleg as you travel north. Passing around the eastern edge of Strathcona, you'll run under Hastings Street, one of the city's main east-west arteries. Then, making a left turn onto Cordova, you'll cross some train tracks and then climb a small hill. On Cordova, you'll continue west for a couple of blocks until you reach Hawk Street. Here you'll turn right down a slight grade until you reach Alexander Street and the edge of Burrard Inlet. Then you'll make a left turn and start a long westward run back towards the downtown area of the city. Running up a slight incline, you should be able to spot in the distance the distinctive saucer shape of our fourth landmark, Harbour Centre Tower. Harbour Centre roughly corresponds to the marathon's 15-kilometer mark. Crossing Main Street, the course slides down into the oldest part of the city, Gastown. Passing the statue of the area's namesake, Gassy Jack, who owned the area's first bar, you'll turn right and continue west along Water Street. Further up, you're welcome to check your race time on the world's first steam-powered clock. Continuing up a slight incline, Water Street reaches the foot of Harbour Centre. Here you'll make another small right onto Cordova Street, passing by the CPR railway station, which opened in 1915.
How are you feeling?
Good.
Feeling good. Good run? Yeah. Good pace?
Yeah.
As you travel out of Gastown, you'll have reached the 15-kilometer mark of the race.
Gorgeous day. Yeah, nice to be out here.
Continuing west along Cordova, you'll spot the Marine Building. Built in the 1930s, as one of the city's few surviving examples of Deco architecture. Passing the Marine Building, you'll make a left onto Burrard Street and then a quick right onto Hastings Street. Running by a number of the city's downtown office towers, you'll continue west along a straight stretch of road which will gradually descend towards Cole Harbour. These twin towers mark the point where you'll be turning right onto Nicholas Street. Here, turning north, you'll catch a brief glimpse of Stanley Park. Reaching the waterfront, you'll make a left and run 1 block to the western bayshore. Now going south, you'll travel up a slight grade until it intersects with West Georgia. At Georgia, you'll make a right turn and head in a westerly direction along a smooth, flat route that will eventually take you into Stanley Park. Georgia is actually the highway that takes you over the Lionsgate Bridge into the North Shore. As Georgia begins to bend to the right, you'll make your way onto a man-made causeway separating the freshwater Lost Lagoon from the saltwater of Cole Harbour. Entering Stanley Park Drive near the Vancouver Rowing Club, you'll begin a long counterclockwise loop.
Where are you from? Colorado, Mexico. Good luck. Thank you.
Continuing east on the drive towards Brockton Point, the road will undulate up and down and right to left as it follows the contour of the shoreline. Here we are following the lead pack of the 2001 marathon as they pass the slower runners from the half. Stanley Park's forested cover will provide you with some protection from the sun, and when combined with the proximity of the ocean water, it can make for a cooler run. Before reaching Brockton Point, the easternmost extent of the park, you'll make a left turn and take a narrow 1-lane cutoff through the trees to the park's north side. There you'll make another quick turn to the left, and in the distance you'll see the 5th landmark, the Lionsgate Bridge, which is situated at the highest point on the course. Continuing west towards Lionsgate, the course makes a gradual sweep to the left into a section of the park known as Lumberman's Arch.
Where are you from?
Iceland. Reykjavik, Iceland. So this is the sunshine for me.
Leaving Lumberman's Arch and passing the 20-kilometer mark,
This is my marathon number 90.
90 marathons!
you'll make your way up a slight hill towards one of our aid stations. If you wait until you're thirsty to drink, it's too late. So my advice to you, when you get to one of our aid stations, is to take advantage of what they have to offer. As you get closer to the Lionsgate Bridge and past the marathon's halfway point, the course begins to climb. Finally, you'll come to a grassy switchback, which is the event's biggest hill and will take you up to the course's highest elevation. When preparing for this event, I would suggest including some hills in your long training runs, and perhaps doing a hill speed workout once every 2 weeks. Near the top of this uphill, you'll make a tight right turn. Here the climb flattens out a bit, but you're still going up. Finally, you'll reach the top and cross over the Stanley Park Causeway. To your right is the Lionsgate Bridge. A few meters further, at Prospect Point, you'll begin a long descent down the west side of the park. Although it was logged in the middle of the 19th century, 2/3 of Stanley Park is still in its natural state with a mixed forest of red cedar, Douglas fir, and hemlock. And although it's hard to tell, you are now traveling south back towards the city. At the hollow tree, the angle of the downhill increases. At this point, I wouldn't be tempted to pick up your pace too much. Remember, you have almost half the race to go. Just relax and let the downhill do the work. Near the end of the steep descent, you'll make a long, sweeping right-hand turn towards 3rd Beach, then making a flat left turn, you'll pass the Tea House restaurant, and if you can spot it, Lover's Lane. At this point, you'll be able to see the ocean and English Bay, and if you look carefully towards False Creek, you should be able to spot one of our landmarks, the Burrard Bridge. That's where you're headed. Continuing your descent, you'll finally arrive at Second Beach. Here you're almost back at sea level. A century ago, before the park was developed, this area would flood at high tide, turning Stanley Park into an island. Passing the 25-kilometer marker, you'll make your way up a slight grade as you say goodbye to the park and hello again to the city. On exiting Stanley Park, the drive changes its name to Beach Avenue. On your right is English Bay Beach. On your left is the Sylvia Hotel and the rest of the West End high-rises. Paralleling English Bay, Beach Avenue is a long, flat run which twists first to the right and then back to the left as it makes its way past some of the West End's heritage buildings. Upon reaching an intersection with Pacific Avenue, the half-marathon runners will stay low. The marathon runner's hand will continue straight ahead as the road becomes Pacific Avenue.
Denver, Colorado.
First time in the Vancouver Marathon?
Is this?
What are you hoping to run?
About 3:30 to 35. Looking great!
Continue south as you make a steady climb up to the Burrard Bridge. As Pacific reaches Burrard, you'll turn right again onto the bridge. This section along Pacific is a great spot for friends to watch. Descending the Burrard Bridge, you'll make a sweeping right turn onto Cornwall Avenue into Kitsilano, where you'll be met by another aid station. As you're now further into the race, this station provides sponges to help runners cool down. Be aware of the signs of dehydration and overheating. If you're starting to feel dizzy and disoriented, back off and ask for help.
How you doing? Good. Where are you from?
New York.
New York?
Yeah.
First time in the Vancouver Marathon.
Yes.
How do you feel? Legs okay?
So far, so good.
How you going, sir?
Good.
Where are you from?
Mexico.
Mexico.
Yes.
First time in the Vancouver Marathon?
No, actually, 9 times.
Okay, best of luck.
Thank you.
Hi.
Have a good day.
You'll now begin an out and back to Jericho Beach Park, starting with this flat section of Cornwall Avenue. Then once you've reached Kitsilano Park, you'll begin climbing a small hill. Descending the hill, you'll make 2 sweeping curves, one to the left, on which Cornwall will change its name to Point Grey Road, and then one to the right, where you'll pass the 30-kilometer mark. Unlike the high-rises of the West End, Kits is made up of condos, single-family houses, and some very expensive waterfront homes. Continuing west, this section of the course is smooth and flat.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun out here.
So what sort of time do you think you're going to get?
Oh, probably around 4:10, 4:15. Just relaxing, having fun, enjoying the crowds, and enjoying the atmosphere today.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
best of luck.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you later.
As this part of the course is an out and back, you'll get a chance here to see how the marathon runners both in front and behind are doing. Reaching Elma Street, you'll make a turn to the left and travel south to 4th Avenue. Then once at 4th, you'll make a right turn and travel west up to the Jericho turnaround. Before you reach the turnaround above Jericho Park, you'll have one more hill to climb.
I'm doing okay. Got a little cramps, but I'm doing all right.
So walk it out?
Yep. Walk it out. We'll be doing good.
We've always had this station. It's at about the 21-mile mark, and it's a great station because this is the crucial point of the race where people are really starting to fall apart. This is what they call the wall here. You know, they're reaching the extent of their endurance. A lot of them are, anyway.
Having made it to the turnaround, you'll travel down 4th Avenue. At Highbury, you'll make a left turn and run north to Point Grey Road. Reaching the Vancouver Yacht Club, you'll turn right on Point Grey Road and head east. Traveling past Elma Street, you'll cross paths with the marathon runners who are a bit slower than you and are heading in the opposite direction. Soon you'll pass 35 kilometers. This is the time when if you've got something left, you can pick up the pace. As Point Grey Road reaches the McDonald intersection, the course begins to travel through those curves you descended on your way out. This time you'll pass through them in reverse. Now you'll climb left through the first curve, then right through the second curve. The road, now called Cornwall again, crests and begins its descent past Kitsilano Park. Looking to your left, you'll be able to see not only Kitts Park, but in the distance, the West End and Stanley Park where you ran earlier. Reaching Arbutus Street, you'll make a left turn and proceed north towards another aid station.
Oh, yeah.
How's it going?
How's it going? Where are you from?
Hamilton.
Hamilton. First time in the Vancouver Marathon?
Yes, it is.
Yeah? Gonna make it in?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm Vernon, Washington.
Vernon, Washington. You gonna make it?
Oh, yeah. I'll make it. I wanted to go a little faster, about a 3:45, and I don't think I'm gonna make that.
Okay, well, best of luck, man.
Thank you.
Okay.
At the end of Arbutus, you'll begin a series of fairly short turns. First, you'll turn right onto McNichol Avenue. Then, running up a short hill, you'll turn left onto Maple Street. Reaching the waterfront, you'll turn right and east onto Flat Ogden Avenue. Here you'll pass a tall totem pole which marks the entrance to the Vancouver Maritime Museum. At the east end of Ogden, you'll make a right turn and head south on Chestnut Street. Reaching White Avenue, you'll turn left. Up ahead, you'll spot the home of the Vancouver Music Academy. As you make a gradual left turn, you'll pass the H.R. Macmillan Planetarium, then the Gordon Southam Observatory, before descending to the Vanier Park waterfront. Now on the west shore of False Creek, you'll turn right and travel south towards one of our landmarks, the Burrard Bridge. But this time when you reach the bridge, you'll run underneath it. Following along a narrow pedestrian and bicycle path, you'll emerge on Creekside Drive. Kicking up a small hill and traveling to the end of Creekside, you'll turn right onto First Avenue. Crossing train tracks and then sweeping still further to the right, you'll eventually pass the intersection of First Avenue and Pine Street. And if it seems like deja vu all over again, it is, for we are now running the same stretch of the course we ran on our first loop of False Creek. You'll travel to the Burrard Bridge and begin your last climb to the center, which is the 40-kilometer mark.
Congratulations. 25 miles. 25 miles. Congratulations. Big stuff for 25. There you go.
And now that you're at the center of the bridge, it's all downhill.
It feels great.
Yeah, where are you from?
Well, we're from White Rock.
White Rock.
Me and Howie, cheer for Howie if you would.
Howie, he's back there.
Yeah, but pacing Howie, he's gonna do it. He's awesome. This is a great marathon.
Descending the bridge, you'll make a right turn onto Pacific Avenue. Passing underneath the Granville Street Bridge on-ramp, you'll get a cooling shower from our final aid station.
Hey, tired? No. Kappa, how are you from Japan? There's the end.
Once more, you'll travel down the stretch, past the new towers on the old Expo land site. Then turning right and traveling past the Big Red O Memorial Expo, you'll head under the on-ramps to the Canby Street Bridge.
Go, big brother, go!
Coming out the other side, you'll spot our landmark, the White Dome of BC Place Stadium. The finish line at the Plaza of Nations is just 200 meters away.
It was great. That's all I can say at this point.
Made it. I cramped up at the end, but
Congratulations.
thank you.
Okay.
There you've done it. You've finished the marathon. And now you have lots of time to think about your accomplishment, share it with your friends, and maybe get ready for the next one.
How was it, man?
It was great.
Yeah?
Experience of a lifetime.
First time?
Yeah, first time.
Where are you from?
Edmonton.
Edmonton?
Yeah.
So did you do as well as you thought you were going to do?
Better, much better. I was hoping for 4.5 and I did 3:55. So yeah, it was outstanding.
Hey man, how was it?
It was pretty good.
Yeah?
Didn't do as well as I wanted to, but it was fun.
What did anything beat you up on the course?
I guess going up over Lionsgate Bridge ramp, I went at that a little too fast and got a little nauseous the rest of the race.
Hey man, how was it?
I come from German.
Ah.
Oh, danke. Gut gelaufen.
Gut laufen?
Gut dran.
Stark in Deutsch.
Also, den 25. Marathon habe ich auch gelaufen hier. In 3:28. Und ich bin jetzt 4. Mal jetzt hier in Vancouver. Und Vancouver ist meine Lieblingsstadt auf der ganzen Welt. Es gibt nichts Schöneres als Vancouver. Von den Leuten, von dem Leben, von allem anderen. Und es macht sehr viel Spaß hier. Ich bin froh, dass ich hier bin und komme auch wieder.
Great.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was lots of fun.
Yeah. Did you stick to your pace?
Actually a lot faster than I thought I was going to be. Yeah, we were sticking with the 3:30 bunny for a while, and then this guy and I just decided to go on, so.
Bunny years
Yeah.
before, they were the rabbits.
Yeah.
Oh. So what
Pace bunnies.
So what'd you run then?
3:23.
That's not bad.
First time.
That's a good time.
Yeah, I'm really happy.
How was it?
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, perfect weather.
Did you keep the pace?
I was about 4 minutes off my pace. But
You didn't get carried away at any point?
coming down the hill, Stanley Park, just coming to Stanley Park, yeah, I got a little bit ahead of myself, but coming around English Bay, same thing. But it was on the whole, it was an awesome race.